Hey America, once again, I'm rather tired. All kinds of it. But you know what? I don't give a shit. It's there's a lot going on. And if you don't understand that it affects you directly, you're not paying attention. I want to talk about a specific thing. Oh my God. Yeah, it's like always. It's been a long day, folks. I'm tired. But my tractor's working again. That's kind of cool. But all the things going on, there's a lot that really truly affects you, and you have to tune into that. You have to tune into what Donald Trump is trying to do, what he's trying to tell people he's doing, and the realities of things. I had a friend of mine post a thing that he didn't do the kind of research that I do, and then another friend chimed in and said that she doesn't go to the depths that I do either, but that because she's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. She's a brilliant woman. That's the whole thing. Look at the way this is all being treated. One of the things, good old Shady Vance, talking about childless cat ladies. I happen to run down my friends list, not the whole damn thing, because that takes a while. But as I'm going down through, when I got to a dozen of them, I said, wait a minute, you fucking idiot. Childless cat ladies are the problem with this country. I have at least, that's how many I counted before I finally said, okay, I've gone through a couple of hundred friends here. That's when I stopped and said, I've got at least a dozen friends that are, in fact, childless cat ladies. You know the one thing they all have in common? They're smart as hell and successful. Do you not understand that when shit like that is said to you, they are just throwing shade? Let's look at another one of those childless cat ladies. One that is one of the most accomplished women that has lived in this country, that is a citizen of this country. And, by the way, happens to be the Democratic candidate for the presidency of the United States. If you want to look at it that way, childless cat lady. But what do? Rather than look at the person, rather than look at the record, they want to throw shade. They want to, well, the first one, if you do not understand what the whole DEI hire means, you're not paying attention. A DEI hire is about diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. It's a thing that the right is solidly against, and it's a thing that the far right, including Trump and his minions, are throwing at Kamala Harris, that she's a DEI hire. Folks, their problem with it is because the diversity, equity, and inclusion means that companies that use DEI hiring protocols are hiring people of an ethnic background that may be different than the typical white Anglo-Saxon. In other words, throwing that shade, they're saying that because she is a woman of color, that's the only reason she's being looked at. No, you dumb shits. No. First of all, she's not a DEI hire. I'm pretty sure that any of her jobs weren't because they needed to include a woman of color. because she's tremendously competent. It's because she really does have the brains and ability to do the job. But on the same plane with all of that, the very same token, go ahead, MAGA. Go ahead, Donald Trump. Go ahead, racist idiots. Keep saying so. Go ahead, Shady Vance and all the other ones that like to jump on the childless cat lady bandwagon. Keep saying so. Because you know what you're doing? There's a whole lot of women in this country that look very closely at your words. You know why? Because they're smart, because they're competent, because they're successful. They look at your words and say, wait a minute, you're saying that I'm not worthy of what I do because I happen to be a woman of color that happens to be childless. First thing with childless, Shady Vance, there are two reasons that a woman is childless. One, she cannot have children. Two, she does not want to have children. In both instances, quite honestly, it's none of your fucking business. What the hell damn business is that of yours? Her reproductive health or the fact that she chooses not to have children. What business is that of yours? But we're going to throw that shade. We're going to throw those kind of insults because you think the woman of color who happens to have stepchildren and has not had children naturally, she has not had a child go through her body and be born, you think that somehow that negates her ability to lead? What kind of a sexist, misogynist asshole does that make you? Not one that I want to have anything to do with. Not one that I can respect. And none of you should respect either. Let's take it back further. The other stupid shit. And you need to parse this out. You need to boil it down. One of the things Trumpy's got a new name for her. Laughing. How does he say it? He doesn't say Kamala, but he says her name wrong, quite intentionally. But Laughing Kamala Harris, I can't say her name wrong, but he throws that on her. Do you understand where they're coming from on that? It's perfectly okay for me, my complexion of protection, and being a guy, being a heterosexual guy, I can laugh my ass off all I want. I can laugh at any goddamn thing you say. Oh, he's just a fun guy, he laughs all the time. But because it's a woman, there's something wrong with her because she laughs a lot. Right back to what the hell goddamn business is that of yours? And how does that take away from her ability? Are you really that fucking stupid? I don't like her laugh. I don't care. She's got that with people. There's no real epicenter of who is coming up with this shit. But there is assuredly one group that is propagating it and putting it out there. And that's the MAGA world. The MAGA world that wants Project 2025. Have you read it? Have you really read it? That's who is pushing this sort of shit. That's who's saying that because she's a woman of color, because she doesn't have children, because she laughs too much, oh, she's not qualified. Well, first of all, she's won a hell of a lot more elections than Donald Trump has. By the way, the only election that he ever won was the Electoral College in 2016. Didn't win the popular vote then, but he did win the Electoral College. Then 2020 came along, and he lost his ass. He's going to do it again. And the reason why he's going to do it again is the very thing that he said just yesterday. Criminals are criminals, and that's what they're going to be. There's nothing you can do about it. You're fucking right, Donald. And you know what? I would rather have a childless cat lady that laughs too much for your comfort leading us than a career criminal. 34 felony indictments, 34 convictions. And then there's all the other indictments still to come. That when we win in November, bet your ass they're going the whole way. Now look at policy. You know what one of the things that Kamala Harris is behind? Supreme Court reform. Real ethics. Who knows? Probably an expansion of the court. Very possibly term limits. All of these are things that I can get behind 100%. I don't care if it's somebody that laughs too much, that happens to have a vagina, that likes cats, that doesn't have kids. I don't care. If that's their policy, I can get behind that. Instead, let's attack her. Let's call her a DEI hire, which is a racist trope, whether you like it or not. That's a racist trope. But let's call her that. And let's have a problem with her color, because that's another thing that's starting to come up. I don't know if this country is ready for a black woman to run the country. At the same time, they're saying she's really not a black woman. Go try to figure out that logic. I can't. But it's because her mother was Jamaican. Do you know where most Jamaicans' ethnic heritage is? Sub-Saharan Africa. That's not a black woman. I don't know what is. But that all by itself is a reason that they attack her. Ladies, this is how they will attack you. And it doesn't matter what your ethnic heritage is. It only matters that you can't possibly be somebody that's as strong as them because you have a vagina. Old white guys are what we need. No, it's not. Old white guys have fucked this up long enough. Criminals have fucked this up long enough. Misogynistic pigs have fucked this up long enough. I am so ready for a childless cat lady to lead this nation. I am so ready for somebody that really respects the rule of law and earned their place and the votes to get to where she could enforce it in what would be one of the larger countries in the world if the state of California was a country and not a state. I will take that any day over the criminal orange shit stain, racist, misogynist pig that they've chosen. Fuck that guy. Ladies, we need you. People of color, we really need you. And it looks like that's the way it's going. The polls are all showing that she is doing far better and starting to surpass Trump in one after another, after another, after another. Good. Let's keep making it happen. This is on all of you. Ladies, do you want your rights back? Do you want the right to be a childless cat lady if that's what you figure you choose to be? There. You can't vote for Donald Trump. Do you want to be a person of color and not be judged by your skin color, but by the virtue of your character? Or would you rather have somebody that has no character whatsoever? One other thing to point out in all of this. We, the folks my age, Kamala Harris has come on even stronger than Joe Biden did in protections of Social Security. Kamala Harris has come on even stronger in forgiving predatory lending in higher education and educational debt. She's taken a stronger stance than Joe Biden did. That's who we need to lead us. That's who we need for a president. We can do that. Takes one thing. Get your ass out there and vote for a real leader. Stop believing the bullshit. Do your homework. Really look at what they're saying. Really look at what it means. And do something with it. We got this. November is ours, Blue Dots. November is ours. I love you, America. Share this shit.